We're going to start this one in a tiny little village in Punjab called Bhindranpur. It's a place that has these legends, whispers about a strange white shadow that wanders through the wheat fields after midnight. It's the kind of place where the cows get a little nervous and the dogs start howling at, well, nothing at all.
I mean, you know the scene, right? It's a classic horror movie setup. You've got a deserted path, the wind is just whispering through the crops, and there's this deep, unsettling quiet. You can practically feel that something is about to happen.
And then you see it, the thing all the legends are about. A figure just kind of moving through the fields in a way that's not quite natural. This is it. This is the ghost everyone whispers about, but nobody's ever really gotten a good look at.
Okay, but here is where this whole story takes a massive left turn. Because the ghost of Bhindranpur wasn't just, not scary. He was hilariously completely incompetent. So this isn't a story about terror. No. This is the story of probably the most embarrassing haunting in all of Punjab.
So our story really gets going when two local legends finally meet. A spirit who couldn't scare a fly, and a man who would do literally anything to get out of a hard day's work.
And that brings us to our hero, Banta Singh. Let's just say his contribution to the village's farming output was, well, let's call it minimal. His real expertise wasn't in growing crops. It was in the fine art of napping and putting things off until tomorrow.
So, picture this. Banta is walking home, all alone, way past midnight. The moon is out, the fields are swaying, and he is about to come face to face with the village legend for the very first time.
And all of a sudden, this long, drawn-out voice just echoes from the fields. It's that classic spooky call, right? The kind that's supposed to send a shiver right down your spine. Banta just stops dead in his tracks. He's looking around, but he doesn't see anything.
So when Banta nervously calls out, "Who's there?" this is the super cryptic answer he gets. Your well-wisher. Yeah, in a dark field after midnight, that phrase is pretty much never good news.
And this is the exact moment you realize Banta is not your typical horror movie victim. His first thought immediately just kills all the tension. For him, a supernatural being and his wife finding him out late at night are apparently on the exact same level of scary.
And then the ghost actually shows itself. It's got all the classic features, right? Long hair, these flowy white clothes, and it's kind of floating just a little bit above the ground. I mean, it's the perfect recipe for a good scare.
But when a totally stunned Banta asks, "You can talk?" the ghost's reply is just pure sarcasm. See, this isn't some terrifying spirit from beyond the grave. He's more like a cranky phantom with a serious attitude problem.
So the ghost's attempts at being scary were, to put it mildly, a complete train wreck. It all added up to one of the most pathetic hauntings ever recorded.
So the ghost, trying to prove how powerful he is, decides to dramatically scare off a goat that's eating the crops. But, being a ghost, he just passes right through it. The goat, totally unfazed, just keeps on chewing. And Banta, who's watching this whole thing, he absolutely loses it.
And Banta, he does not hold back. He delivers this brutally honest performance review right to the ghost's face. And hey, after that whole goat incident, it's pretty hard to argue with him.
Now, you might think Banta would keep this bizarre encounter to himself, but oh no, he tells everyone. So the very next night, the entire village gathers at the edge of the field. Not with torches and pitchforks, but with popcorn and a complete lack of fear.
Yeah, instead of screaming in terror, the villagers start treating the ghost like some kind of weird new public utility. They're asking for lottery numbers, personal favors, even asking him to dance. The goat's big plan to become a figure of dread has turned him into a local novelty act.
And then came the ultimate insult. As the ghost is trying to proclaim how terrifying he is, someone in the crowd just launches a samosa at him. Of course, it sails right through his ghostly body. The haunting has officially turned into a food fight.
So, having realized their ghost was anything but scary, the villagers came up with one last brilliant test. They wanted to see if this ghost, who couldn't scare anyone else, could at least handle his own reflection. And here it is, the punchline. The ghost comes floating along, catches a quick glimpse of himself, the white clothes, the messy hair, and lets out the most terrified scream of the entire night. He is, quite literally, scared of himself.
And Banta, always ready with a clever line, just sums up the ghost's absolute rock-bottom moment perfectly. It is the final nail in the coffin of his failed haunting career.
But you know what? The story doesn't end in total humiliation. After this very humbling experience, the ghost of Bhindranpur actually found a new and surprisingly effective role in the community.
Believe it or not, the village actually gave him a job. He became their official night guard. His method wasn't terror, it was just pure, uncut weirdness. I mean, any thief who sees a transparent man yelling at livestock is just going to be way too confused to steal anything.
And that just became the new normal in Bhindranpur. The spooky sounds from the fields were no longer ghostly moans, but just the frustrated shouts of a phantom trying to manage some unruly farm animals. A truly one-of-a-kind security system.
And that's the story of Punjab's funniest ghost. But the villagers say that sometimes they see something else in those fields. Something far, far more terrifying than a ghost who's afraid of mirrors. What could that possibly be? Well, that's a story